But the same is true within, let's say, black communities. You got, 1% of the population in America who owns 41% of the wealth. You got 3 individuals who have wealth equivalent to 160 million fellow citizens. But within the black community, the top 1% of black folk have over 70% of the wealth. So that means you got a lot of precious Jamals and Letitias out there who are told to live vicariously through the lives of black celebrities. So it's all about representation rather than substantive transformation. You get that in politicians. You got a black president, all of y'all must be free. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Live through him. Live through the family. Beautiful achievement, magnificent achievement. But it's not about symbolic representation only. This is about fundamental transformation. So it's a challenge. Mary Ellen Pleasant and others, and Martin King and others are challenges for those of us who do have some resources to still raise our voices. Because you can be black, highly well-adjusted to injustice, economically, in terms of race and so forth, you see. And the same is true. You can be brown, you can be red. So it's not just a matter of looking for that one individual who represents. It's a matter of connecting that representation to fundamental transformation. If there's no fundamental transformation, you end up with a whole generation of peacocks. Look at me, look at me, look at me. All about foliage. And what does that do? That falls directly into the culture of superficial spectacle. Yeah. Last thing we need is just spectacle with no substance in that way. And this is a battle within the communities of peoples of color, because it's not going to be a matter of just pointing out white supremacy. Of course, white supremacy is fundamental foundation in part of the country. It's not the only foundation, because you got resistance to white supremacy. You got Lydia Maria Child. She wrote a book in 1834 called An Appeal for that class of Americans called Africans. It was deeply influenced by one of the greatest works ever written at that time by David Walker, Appeal to Colored Citizens of the World. She's a white sister. She is as vanilla as Doris Day in the 1830s, fundamental part of the black freedom movement, right? Well, you see, those folk need to be lifted up, because what does that do? That exposes our humanity in terms of the choices we make, not just the skin color we have. And I would say the same thing in terms of gender. The brothers who are fundamentally concerned about breaking the back of patriarchy, even we know patriarchy